Hey guys, welcome to Replay Analysis with me, Vibu, and today we're looking at Larifari, Mike Lowry. We're looking at Larifari. He's on the Korean server, and for some reason, this game thinks he's bronze when his opponent is platinum. But Larifari knows he's platinum. He's got a platinum heart. He's a platinum skill level. So don't be fooled. He's not actually bronze, guys. He's actually platinum as well. It's just a bit of an MMR bug, and the way I can answer that for anybody that's going through that themselves, where you're just getting displayed as the wrong league, it would be nobody works on Blizzard anymore on the StarCraft section. They all got fired. So, fuck. We're on our own. No, I don't. There's so many bugs with MMR display shit. Like, people are like always like, I got Masters 3, but I'm Silver. Am I actually Masters 3? My MMR is like 1800. Unfortunately, no, that's not actually Masters MMR. Even though it says you're Masters, you're not actually Masters. It's just bugged. The game is really buggy lately. We're turning into a StarCraft 2 reforged, you know? Warcraft 3 is rubbing off on StarCraft. Alright. Let's go ahead and look at this, okay? So, again, this is replay analysis, guys. We're helping Larifari learn how to play the game better at his own pace. So let's see what he is doing. Oops, I did not mean to close that. This is a Zerg versus Protoss. I'm gonna close out the whatever it's called. I don't want to see production, right? Because again, I'm gonna play this game as I'm not playing this game. I'm gonna look at this game as if I'm also seeing from your perspective if you're giving yourself the enough information to know what you're doing properly. Okay, first things first. Did you 14 Overlord? You did. Okay, so if you ever do this, if you're ever like, ah, shit, I did a 14 Overlord. I need you to do this for me. Everybody. This is incorrect, okay? I don't know if this was intentional. Maybe it was a mistake on accident. It's okay, because I think the second drone was also made really late. So I think there was just like probably a alt tab. Someone was talking to you. Some type of distraction, because I imagine you would have made the drone on time if it was not distracted.
Hey Vi.
Hi.
Got called a Smurf twice today on ladder thanks to your B2GM series. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you, plenty, and keep up kicking people's asses, dude. Hell yeah. So, if you ever 14 drone, okay, all things aside, if you ever 14 drone, there's an easy way to fix it, and you must do this. Get your first 60 to 70 minerals and do what people call an extractor trick. And what that means is if you think about how much it costs to make an extractor and how much it costs to make a drone. It costs 25 minerals to make an extractor, and it costs 50 minerals to make a drone. And what this does for you, and that's why I said you could pull off your mineral line at like 60 to 70 or something around there, because in the time it would take your drone to run over here and build the gas, you'd probably generate another like 15 minerals realistically, because you have lots of drones mining. The point is you want to get out of the supply block as fast as possible, and you want to spend a larva. Because if you don't, here's the thing. Here's why it's important. If you do not extract your trick, and you didn't make an Overlord until 14 out of 14, your larva will sit on your hatchery for so long before you can make drones out of it that you will hit 3 larvae and still be blocked before your Overlord finishes. Now, why is this relevant, and why is this important, and why is this something you want to prevent from happening at all costs? If you ever hit a point where you have 3 larvae sitting on a hatchery, as we will see right here in a second. Watch the hatchery. We have 2 right now, and we have 3. If you ever have a point where you have 3 larvae sitting on the hatchery, every second that goes by that you have 3 larvae on the hatchery, you are not generating another larva. And larva is Zerg's fuel, Zerg's main resource to produce things. It's what keeps Zerg going the strongest. Minerals are nice. They're important. Gas is important. All these things are important, right? Minerals and gas are nice. But larva is your most precious resource as Zerg, and you want to fuck it up as little as possible, because the more you fuck up larva as Zerg, the more your build is going to suck ass, and you're not going to realize why. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. I've said this a few times before, and I'll say it again. For someone out there new who's going to hear this for the first time. Zerg has 2 ways of generating larva and they are identical at how much larva it gives you. You have a larva inject from a queen, which gives you 3 larvae every 30 seconds. It's for nitpickers out there that are going to be like, no, it's not 5, it's actually 29 seconds. Okay, it's 29 seconds, okay? But just, we're averaging it for the sake of easy peasy math here, okay? I know it's 29 though, but we'll just say 30. 30 seconds is a queen generating larva, okay? Every 30 seconds, queen injects larva off the hatchery. You generate out of the hatchery by itself with no inject at all. The hatchery pumps out about 1 larva every 10 seconds. So what that means is in 30 seconds, if you pump out 1 every 10, you're going to have 3 larvae sitting there at 30 seconds. So this means that larva inject and automated larva generation are 50% each of Zerg's total larva. So in perfect harmony, you're maximizing your larva at 100% efficiency the entire time, which means if you're spinning your injects right away, and you're always never letting yourself hit larva cap. So if you ever let yourself hit larva cap for no reason, that's not good. You fuck yourself, because now you're not generating larva. Now every second that goes by, like I said before, you are just missing larva, which means you are missing units that you could have had otherwise. You're not generating, and it doesn't start generating until you dip below 3 again, and then the timer starts over from 1, 2, 3, all the way to 10 seconds, and then the larva goes and pops out of the hatchery. Very important not to fuck that up. So correct build order, 13 overlord, and then proceed to go as normal. And if you ever fuck it up and go, whoops, I hit 14 drones and I forgot to make an overlord, and now I started an overlord, just do an extractor trick, and all you have to do is like when you're at 75 minerals or so, 60, 75, whatever, grab a drone, build your gas. When the drone goes in the gas, your supply will drop back down to 13 because it's considering the drone is now gone and it's now a building. You immediately start a new drone to now take yourself back up to 14 into 14. You then click back on the gas and cancel it, and then tell that drone that canceled the gas to go back and mine minerals, and now your supply will be 15 out of 14, and then you won't larva cap because you'll have 2 here instead of 3. Your overlord then would finish, and then you could proceed as normal. Do not larva cap. It is so bad. It fucks you like crazy. It is like, it's, I don't know. I was going to give you an analogy, but I don't know. It's really bad. Larva capping is like, imagine if your goal was to like run a marathon, and every time you larva cap in StarCraft 2, it'd be like you fall over and slam your knees into the ground or something like that, and it makes it harder to run because now your legs are sore, and it's like, I almost broke my leg there. And eventually one of these times you are going to break your leg, and it's going to lose you the game. It's going to lose you the race because you're going to break your fucking ankle or knee or whatever. Terrible analogy, but you get the point. It's really bad. You want to prevent doing that at all costs. That's why I'm stressing it so hard right now. And it looks like you're about to do it again. Okay, you were so close to doing it again right there. You need to spend your larva faster. I don't know what you're doing with the build here. Okay. I think you took that gas as a response to the Protoss taking your gas. I want to see your build. I want to see what your build is. I want to see if you're going to go roaches just by default. Let's see your build. Okay. There's a lot of problems with this build right now. You are. Okay, so you do have the intention of just going roaches with Beta Gym style. That's totally fine. Sulfur, thank you very much for the 58,
2
man.
more months. Then we get to take that trip to Panama together.
Okay. Thank you, Sulfur. Hell yeah, I can't wait. I don't know. First time I'm hearing about it, but hell yeah. Thank you, dude. Okay, so check this out. Larifari. So you go down to take your natural. I don't like your Overlord's movement, by the way. I don't. So your Overlord doesn't need to sit here. This is correct at your opponent's base because there's a good chance your opponent will kill your Overlord otherwise. But let me throw some numbers out there for you guys, okay? Let me throw a number out there for you guys. A Protoss player has to make a pylon, and then a gateway, and then a core, and then a stalker. They can't make a unit that can attack air until their 4th tech path object has been like discovered. Pylon, gate, cybercore, then stalker. And the amount of time it would take you to do that as a Protoss player is you're not even going to be having a stalker started in production on average until after 2 minutes in the game. Like we're talking around like 220 or so, okay? Because if you're like, Vibe, where the fuck are you getting these numbers from, dude? I don't understand anything of what you just said to me. 18 seconds, 46 seconds, 36 seconds, and then a stalker inside of a gateway is 30 seconds. So add all that time up together, and then also you can't start it from second number 1 in the game either because the Protoss doesn't have enough money to do that. So add on another like 20 seconds of idle time or so, or like 30 seconds of idle time when a Protoss is trying to just build probes, just like how you're building drones. So you can't just do it in the snap of a finger, right? So the fact that your Overlord is going to the cliff here is so irrelevant at the moment because it does nothing for you defensively. It's like you're over assuming that a stalker is going to kill you when it's the least of your worries right now. What's actually a worry for you right now is, I would say this. Watch your scout for a second here. The second you saw that, go to your vision. The second you saw this right here, okay? Watch this. Watch. So important. Look at the probe. Watch the probe's movement. He disappears, right? He reappears. He disappears again behind the fucking base. This is definitely not the time to leave that area. 100% leave that Overlord's asshole right there. Like, leave him sitting right next to that hatchery, because if you did that, you would see this entire area. And you would see a pylon going down right away. You even see the pylon going down as well as you're leaving, because you barely saw the edge of the corner of the pylon. This is super scary to just not have your Overlord sitting there, because you have no idea what's happening now. You're not giving yourself any vision to know what the hell is going on. Now, here's another thing I would say. So, number 1, fix your Overlord, right? That's super important. Now, watch this. You build your gas as a response to this probe because you're like, no. No. I don't want to get gas blocked. You know what I would say? If I was you, I'd be like, let him fucking do it. You know why? Because it makes him waste money. And your gas is not supposed to go down until 20 supply anyways. And look at your hatchery. It's already started. The build time of a gas is 21 seconds as well on top of that. So here's a crazy thing, right? Do you think between now and 20 supply, and also you have to make a pool between now and then too, so you realistically you need 21 supply because you have to make a pool as well, which is going to take you back down to 20 from 21, right? I'm not saying build it at 21. I'm just saying theoretically you have to go to 21 instead. Between going from here to 21 supply, do you think that it's going to take you like just 3 seconds? Because think about this for a second. If it's going to take you, let's say for you to go from 16 all the way to 21 supply and then have a pool in there as well, your hatchery goes from 8 seconds in to 50 seconds in. I feel like that is roughly not that unrealistic. That sounds pretty decent for the amount of time that would take. Now, if you got to 50 seconds on this hatchery and a build time of a gas is 21 seconds, it would mean that the hatchery and the gas would finish at the exact same time at your natural. And you could just grab 3 drones on your main base that are excess, because you'll have 20 at a 16 here. Tell 4 of them to come down to the natural to mine minerals. Take 1 off, so like leave 1 on the minerals and tell the other 3 to mine the gas. And problem solved. You know what I mean? I think you're overreacting to this. You're not doing a speedlink build, you're doing a roach layer build, which means you're doing beta GM. You do not need to freak out. I would totally be okay with him wasting his minerals to build a fucking assimilator there. Because if he builds an assimilator there, I can kill it with roaches later, or you could kill it later with roaches. And if he's going to cannon rush you and then also block both your gas before he cannon rushes you, it means his cannon rush is going to suck ass because it's 150 minerals that he just spent on your gases. You don't need to build the gases fast. And all it did to you was it took mineral saturation off of your hatchery. And then you don't even use the gas anyways because you're not ready to use it yet. So a couple of fuck-ups here already for you that are huge. I don't mind that you pulled drones. It's whatever. I really don't like your gas being finished though, because it's, again, that's just You're undersaturated, and this is even more undersaturation going on for you. Your drone pull is okay, but I want to watch your drones for a second here. So he cancels the pylon, and then you have like this false sense of security, right? Where once look at the overlords, you see it. This is your vision, right? This is your vision, and he goes right back again. What are you looking at when this happens? You're looking at your base, and you're worried about saturating your gas right now. Leave your overlord at your natural. So important, because you just let it happen the second time.
Yeah.
You have no idea he's cannon rushing you this time. You're not aware enough as to what's going on.
Cheers to 2 months. Super stoked I found your series last fall. Really opened the game up for me. Also, I was so drunk the Friday before last I found out I gifted 20 subs again the next day because people messaged me thank you.
Yo, Banacci Versace, thank you very much for the 2, man. And yeah, thank you very much for all the support you've done over the time. Over the months, the years. But much love, dude, and I'm glad you're enjoying it and all that stuff. Thank you, man. Thank you for being a generous guy. But like right here again, another reaction, right? Delayed reaction. Let's see how long it takes. So ideally, your overlord would be here, and you would see this as it's going down again. That's what your overlord's doing. Nothing being there right now on the high ground. This is only aggressive. Good. This is a good location for aggressive. A terrible location for defensive, because you can't see anything defensively. Then your hatchery finishes at 12 or at 207. We'll say 208. How long does it take you to react here? Okay, well, you start a Roach Warren at 222, and you have no reaction to doing anything here to deal with this. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to definitely alter the game, right? You're going to be in a super negative position now. I do agree with the fact that you expand around it, but I think this could have been super avoidable. Also, the queen dying is also super avoidable. That sucks. What is going on in the main base? So, okay, you've just put yourself into an all-in. So, you're in a position now where you've made a choice. You chose to go for a layer, and this is not beta GM anymore. A beta GM is not one base layer. So if your goal is beta GM, you've done the wrong thing. You've done what I have been talking about a lot throughout the series. This series this time around about resource priority. You've now done a gas priority investment right away. You've gone for a layer right away. Like you've gone for tech before you have even expanded now because your expansion's dead. So like you could have invested into replacing your natural before that. Before you made the Roach Warren and before you made the layer. But you chose to go for a Roach Warren first and also the layer first. And then now your natural's dead. So now you're one base tech. And if you just sit back here and expand now and don't use the fact that you've gone for one base tech, it's just doing things out of order. Because this makes your economy suck ass. Vibe, he invested 100, 150, 150, 75 though. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. The Protoss definitely has invested in some money to Cannon Rush, but at the same time, he killed the expansion of the Zerg player, so it's not actually like a waste. This hatchery was worth 350 minerals. The queen, because a drone and the hatchery died. Because the drone gets deleted when the hatchery gets built, which is 50. The hatchery costs 300, which is 350 together. Then the queen died. That spawned out of here. That's now 500 minerals. Thrown into the fucking garbage can for Zerg. 500 minerals already dead for Zerg here. 2 cannons and 2 pylons is 500 minerals for Protoss. That's equal investment. But it's positive for Protoss because, number one, Protoss has already killed what he tried to kill here, and this is now just a further annoyance. And number two, all this costs is minerals as well. So if the Protoss really wanted to, he could be expanding behind this like crazy. He could be going up to 2 bases, or maybe even 3 bases with this. Who fucking knows? This is no gas investment, and gas is something that screws you early game if you mine it early and you can't afford to use it yet. And also the fact that he built this, again, this only costs minerals to take, and this is a waste of money for Protoss, sure. But at this point, here's what I would say. The fact that the Zerg player has chosen to go for a layer on one base now, you're now in the all-in territory for Zerg, where your build now sucks ass unless you do damage. And the fact that now, if you're putting yourself in an all-in situation and you now don't have access to your second gas, suddenly this gas makes a whole lot of sense now. In the start of the game, it definitely didn't make any sense. It was terrible. But by the way the Zerg has reacted to it, the Zerg has now countered himself by allowing himself to be fucked on the gas, and he can't be aggressive properly anymore because he has less aggression now. He can make less roaches now. It'd be like saying this. Imagine if you had like rock, paper, scissors, and your opponent goes like 1 second before you do, and he's like, paper, and then you like 1 second later go, rock. And he's like, all right, gotcha, bitch. And then he like he covers your rock with paper. Like, players lower level probably are not going to understand what just happened there, and they're going to be like, it's not that big of a deal vibe. But if you go for a one base layer gas, you're putting yourself in a position where you have to do damage to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, you're going to be super far behind. And if you can't use your gas properly, it makes it less likely to work.
I'm under attack.
So now we have a second gas going down with an expansion. This build is super inefficient already, though, honestly. I would say this. I'm telling you a lot of things that I don't like. I'll tell you something I would like. I would say this. First of all, I would like your Overlord to be in a better position. And this could have been avoided from the entire start of the game. But now, let's just say this. Let's say the moment you saw this, okay? The moment you saw, oh my god, he cannon rushed me, and I can't stop it. I would say you could literally do this. What if you just did this? Cancel that. Don't fucking... Before you built the Roach Warren, too. Because you actually got cannon rushed, and you saw it before you even built the Roach Warren. I would say you could do this. What if you did this? Stop mining gas out of your gas. With 2 of those drones. Take 2 of those drones off of that gas. Or at least 1. And then go take a different base with those drones. Do not disrupt your mineral line. Retake, like, disrupt your gas. Because now your gas doesn't matter as much anymore because your build's fucked up. Because you're losing a hatchery at your natural now. So take a drone off your gas or 2 drones off your gas and recover. Build an expansion. Or build another expansion. Go double expand. Do not build a Roach Warren. I wouldn't mind if you built a Queen, but do not build a Roach Warren. Do not build a layer. Do not oversaturate your gas anymore. Fuck your gas up and fix your minerals because your minerals are now fucked up. This base is now ruined. And if this base is ruined and now you're behind, you can't just play a game where you go, okay, well now I'm behind and always go, well, I'll just do exactly what I did before and I'll be fine. I mean, you could sometimes do that. That's okay. For now, in Platinum League, I'd say that's not that big of a deal. You'll probably be fine most of the time. But if I was playing this game in, like, let's say upper levels of play, like, let's say somehow I let my base get cannon rushed in, like, Masters, I would probably double expand. And the reason why is because I have now been put into a negative. So if I take a risk economically and boost myself forward, I can somehow recover and put myself back on track. Because again, right now you've derailed the build and you're in a negative position now. This is not a good position, right? So if you take an economical risk by going double expand now, you could potentially get yourself back on track by taking more of a greedy expansion. And why does it actually look like it could work? Because your opponent is not doing unit-based aggression. He's cannon rushing you. So if he's cannon rushing you, as long as you have an Overlord paying attention, like this Overlord go down here, this Overlord go up here. As long as you pay attention to the fact that you're going to get cannon rushed again, what if you just make like 2 lings? Like 1 egg of Zerglings to have 2 lings come out and you go kill that probe trying to build a pylon. Problem solved. Too much gas investment here, by far. No, not enough defense in your third and too much gas investment. You just let the gas keep mining as well. So, and then you build another, you kill the gas and you build another one while building roaches and layer. Again, your build needs to attack for it to make any sense at all now. Because this is so little economy, so much aggression investment. So now look at this too. You're prioritizing the second gas, right? You've actually taken off the mineral line. You're undersaturated on the mineral line. And you're now fully saturating the gas as a result of that. You want to make sure this gas gets going. This is the biggest problem players have in StarCraft 2 when they learn how to play StarCraft 2. Everyone thinks that gas is more valuable than minerals at developing a build, and it's not. Minerals, everything that like think about it for a second, okay? Think about it. Everything that every race needs to make an economy only requires minerals. Overlords, depots, pylons, minerals for supply. Nexus, hatchery, command center, minerals. Drones, SCVs, and probes, minerals. Developing an economy is only minerals. So if your build wants to develop bases and develop economy, you should never undervalue the minerals. The only thing gas priority develops and gives you is it gives you a military investment. It gives you upgrades for military units, and it gives you military units. It gives you roaches. It gives you a layer to upgrade your roaches. It gives you hydras. It gives you fucking mutas. It gives you an upgrade for your lings to go for speedlings. It gives you banelings. It gives you ravagers. It gives you upgrades for all these units, weapons and armor. It literally is for attack purposes. It is not for macro purposes. The only argument you could make would be, well, I need to make just enough attack units so I can defend my economy. That's the only investment, or that's the only argument you could really make to say that gas can develop your economy because it can protect your economy. But when you invest like crazy, and here's the thing, right? You can protect your economy by doing a mineral focus with a gas follow-up. But if you do a gas focus with a mineral follow-up, that is no longer in the realm of protecting your economy. That is now 100% in the realm of damaging your opponent's economy. And if you do not attack your opponent and you do gas investment priority builds, your builds don't make sense. You don't ever see a Zerg player, or you don't ever see a high-level player going for double gas one base and then sitting back at his base defensively, just chilling. No one does that. Why? Because it's really inefficient economically. You'll always be behind if you play defensive that way. You have to be aggressive if you play like that. So if you don't want to be aggressive, you got to think. You got to go back to the drawing board and think. Yes, I got cannon rushed, but how can I react to this in ways that doesn't result to me going double gas one base? There's two ways. Number one is you just leave your overload in the right spot and you don't let it happen in the first place. Or number two, expand around it. And stop mining gas like crazy. Use gas drones to expand around it to fix the problem quickly. And don't expand after your base is dead. Be like, fuck, I've made the choice now. There's no way I'm saving this base. It's going to die. Emphasis on it's going to die in the future. So how about I prevent myself from having a problem in the future by fixing a problem now before I have a problem 40 seconds from now. Like if you double expanded while the hatchery was starting to die, much better off. Maybe he pulled drones out of gas after killing cannons. Larifari. Larifari was not the one who asked that question. And Larifari, again, I know I rip people apart in replay analysis, and please don't take offense to this. But even if you just made Ravagers and a layer and a bunch of roaches to kill these cannons, and then you stop mining gas to then start expanding, that is not good. I was about to get a lot more mean there. That's not good. Guys, it's a static defense structure. It's static. It sits there. Why would you focus on this as a priority? If this is going to kill your hatchery already, if it's going to kill your hatchery, why would you invest on killing this first and then expanding when this can't kill your other expansions? This is like, it's like you have a couple choices here, right? And you're choosing to do, like, you want to, killing this, yeah, you want to do it eventually. You'll want to do it eventually, but it doesn't make any sense to do it as a priority. Let me give you an analogy, okay? Let me give you an analogy that's more practical for my viewers. Imagine that you're a guy and your wife is on her way home from work. And all she asked you to do all day was to clean the house. And if you don't clean the house, she's going to be fucking pissed. And you haven't done it yet. And she's going to be home in 30 minutes. And it only takes you like 20 minutes to clean the house. So you can still get it done. And then you think to yourself, I also want to go do a quest in World of Warcraft. I want to do a quest on my little gnome warrior. And you're like, that quest will also take me about 20 minutes. And you could easily do it after she comes home. And she'd be like, hey, honey. And you're like, hi. And you're doing a quest on WoW. And she's like, thanks for cleaning the house. And you're like, no problem. And you're doing a quest on WoW. And she doesn't fucking yell at you. But you're like, nah, I got to do the quest first. So you do the quest first. And then your wife gets home and you're sitting on the computer. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me? And you're like, what? This quest is important. You could have done it later. And it would have been fine. But the real fucking priority was to clean the house. This is already way too many units. Like the economy, I'm telling you guys right now, the economy for Zerg here is so fucked up already. If you're at 21 drones at 5 minutes in the game, guys, something's fucking wrong. You could get cannon rushed and you could lose this hatchery and at 5 minutes still be at like 45 drones. This is way too much to kill cannons. Yeah, there's just no. I feel like there's no. What's it called? There's no like plan with the way this is going. I feel like, because think about it for a second. Think about this for a second. One Ravager could kill this. One Ravager. You can corrosive bile. In case you guys didn't know this, you can corrosive bile a cannon outside of attack range of a cannon. You could literally stand like right here, cast corrosive bile on the side of a cannon, and a cannon cannot shoot back at you. Did you know that? So think about how long those Ravagers were sitting there to just make a bunch more Lings and a bunch of Roaches. One Ravager could have killed this. But instead, there was an army that was made that is 20 Zerglings, 7 Roaches, and 2 Ravagers. And currently now we're sitting on 21 drones versus 32 probes. This is not good. Again, this is deeper and deeper into that shit economy, aggressive side of things. I feel like this is just a misunderstanding of what cannons are capable of. And now, remember what I was saying? Double gas, one base. Guys, look at the economy still. Double gas, still 15. Just started, 1. At 6 minutes, we have 1 drone on the natural, or on the really, it is kind of the natural. It's our second base now. And there's 15 on the main base. It means in 6 minutes of this game, all we've managed to do is saturate 1 base worth of economy. That is not good at all. You could saturate 1 base worth of economy within the first minute of the game. And then finally we go attack. And let me tell you something again. If you attack your opponent by after 6 minutes and you're going to one base all in them, you have definitely missed the boat on having a chance to do damage. If you guys want a general time frame of when it's appropriate to do damage to your opponent on 1 base, that time frame is between 2 minutes and like 4 minutes. If you do not attack them within if you have not started attacking your opponent within 2 to 4 minutes, and you're going to do a 1 base army production, like 1 base economy with army, your build is going to feel awful. If you're going to attack at 6:30, you're super far behind. Because look what happens, right? There's 4 fucking voids already out by 6 minutes. And this attack gets over here, kills 2 cannons and like 2 probes. And now suddenly, Protoss is like, okay. And now the real question is the supply value much different? No. Is the drone value to probe value much different? No, these things are not that much of a question right now. The real question is the Zerg has invested into something that has severely fucked his economy up early, which has laid out the foundation of this game now, And the foundation of this game now is roaches versus void rays. Which is not like the bases have no connecting creep. At least the natural and the main are connected. But the third base is by itself. I would not be surprised if the void rays fall over here and just kill the third. And then Zerg's like, oh god, what do I do now, right? Super tight spot. You guys remember, let me throw it out there and say this again. Larifari, this is super real what I'm about to say when you watch this. Early game sets the pace for late game. And if your early game is not good, your late game is going to feel that much harder. And your early game, your build right now, in terms of where your pacing is at, I would say you could get to the same value of what your build is worth right now by like 4 minutes. So your build, in theory, is like 3.5 minutes behind. And it's not because your hatchery died at your natural. A lot of people probably think that that's the cause. They're like, well, the hatchery died vibe. Of course he's behind. But if your hatchery died and you made good economical follow-up choices to what died there, you wouldn't be 3.5 minutes behind at 7.5 minutes in the game. You'd probably only be about 30 seconds behind or 45 seconds behind at 7.5 minutes in the game. So you, instead of being where you could have been at 4 minutes right now, you'd be where you could have been at like 6:45. You know what I mean? Like, and the reason why you're so far behind is not because your hatchery died. It's because when your hatchery did die, you chose to go for a roach warren, you chose to go for roaches, you chose to go for a layer, and you chose to go for a double gas, and then you chose to expand. And you still haven't even saturated your expansion yet. It's got 4 drones on it, and you're making roaches again. Well, now you're making drones, but you were making roaches earlier again. 4 drones on your natural by 7:30 is so fucking late. At least this base has more drones. But I think you're also trying to transfer drones off this base because it's losing patches now. And like you're taking double gas here and you can't even afford it yet. Your build has no mineral. Honestly, Larifari, I highly recommend you go watch Beta GM series for looking at mineral focused openings. I'm dead serious. It'll help you so much because your economy, like, okay, this is the best, like, without sounding mean and without making it also be convoluted, this is what it's like. Imagine if I was giving you $100. What if I was like your boss at a job and I offered you $100? I was trying to hand you $100 and you were like, no, I don't want that. And you're like pushing my hand away. Like, no, get that out of here. I pull out a 50 and you're like, no, get it away from me. I pull out a 20. You're like, no. I pull out a 10 and you're like, that's the shit right there. You take a $10. $10 bill. When I'm trying to give you 100 in the first place. And then the next day you come to work again. Same thing happens again, but this time I finally hand you the 10 and you're like, no, get it out of here. I hand you a 5 and you're like, yeah, baby. I'll take that 5 now this time. Like you're just making these choices that are super inefficient with your economy. It's because you're doing gas focus and you're doing unit focus. Those are the 2 reasons why your economy sucks cock so bad. They don't add up very well.
Mineral field.
And like, here's another example, right? Here's another example. You are undersaturated on this base heavily. You're still missing 6 workers on your on this base right here. You're still working. You're sorry. They're working. You're still missing 19 drones on this base. 19 drones are missing here. You need 22 per base. 3, 16. Adds up to 22. You have 3 right now. So you're missing 19. You're missing 6. So that's 25 drones already. And then this base is missing 1 because, yeah, I mean, you're down by 1. It's fine. So you're missing 1 to now make that 26. You're missing 26 drones on your first 3 bases. And what are you choosing to do? You're choosing to go for upgrades. It's another thing you can't fucking afford right now. Upgrades and units and all these things are supposed to happen once you can afford them. And here's the thing, right? A lot of people are like, but Vibe, how the fuck can I not die to Void Rays then? You tell me that, smart guy. The way StarCraft works is if you derail your build early game, it just derails all game. And the more you continue to derail your build, the harder it's going to feel to deal with what your opponent's doing. The less you derail your build, imagine right now at 9 minutes if you were maxed out, which I'm going to give you a disclaimer alert, you totally could be. Now, it's platinum, right? It's fucking platinum. So I'm not being like, yeah, it need to be. It's like at least the bare minimum you should be maxed out right now. Obviously, if you're maxed out right now, it would mean you were playing like a god. Like a Masters 1 player or something. But you could easily, as a platinum player, if you just follow a good template of understanding that minerals focus over gas, you could max out by 10 minutes. Which means right now, you could be like at 140 supply. Easy. That would be easy. And the reason why that would happen is because you don't do a gas focus. Like all those Lings and Roaches you made early game, fucked you so hard. All that gas focus you put early game. All the minimal investment of drones. Like we're at 9 minutes, dude, and we have 3 drones in the 3rd base. Really, this is your natural. This is making my Zerg heart hurt. And look at your larva too, right? Remember we talked about how you need to use your larva? Your larva is beyond capped right now. And why is it capped? You can't afford anything. You just can't afford it. I don't expect you to afford it. And why can't you not afford it? Because you're not making drones. You're making hydras. You're trying to make upgrades. Expensive shit when you don't have the money to build it. Now you're starting to make drones again.
Mineral field depleted.
But you're so far behind as it is already. Also, you have no creep spread at all.
Mineral field depleted.
I think you're playing this game in a panic scenario. It's hard to really break it down, but I can already tell you're playing this game in a panicked mindset. And I think that gas and that cannon rush threw off your entire game. And you're just like, I don't fucking know what's going on anymore, dude. This guy's crazy. But your economy is making my Zerg heart hurt. The best advice I can give you is when you get into situations like this, I would much rather you die while making drones, and then you realize that you're not allowed to do that as much, rather than die because you just don't have enough shit as Zerg. The worst thing you can do as a Zerg player is sit here like this and make a bunch of units and then just sit there on them and never do anything with them and then go back to making drones. This is the worst thing you can do. Like, you keep, honestly, it's like you're making, every time you make larva, you make 3 hydras, you make 4 drones, you make 4 hydras, you make 3 drones, you make 2 roaches, you make 2 drones, you make 4 hydras, you make 3 drones. You're literally rotating drones, units, drones, units, drones, units, drones, units. That is not how you play Zerg. At all. You need to make Zerg units in waves. See, like, watch right now. You just made 5 hydras. You made an overlord. I would not be surprised if you make drones now. Now you make drones. Now you'll probably make hydras again. Now you make hydras. Now I'm not going to be surprised if you make drones again. You make 6 hydras. Now let's see if you make drones again. Like, think about it like this, okay? This is the golden rule of what StarCraft is. You have to understand this. Everybody needs to understand this that is a Zerg player. Every race follows this mindset to a degree, but Zerg follows it more than the other races because Zerg has to sacrifice economy and other races don't. Because you have to choose units or drones as Zerg, whereas Terran and Protoss can make units while making workers out of Command Center Nexus. StarCraft 2 as a game, okay? Listen to me right now, please. This is super important. The game of StarCraft 2 is a 2-phase game. It has 2 phases. Phase number 1 is economy development. Phase number 2 is using that economy to produce armies. And what you're doing when you start producing army more than you need to early game, and then you go back to making drones, and then you make army, and then you make drones, and then you make army, and then you make drones, is that you're taking and extending phase 1 of the game longer. So let me get paint out here for you, and hopefully this visual might make sense. Watch this. Okay, look at this. Watch. Okay, so there are going to be 2 graphs here. Graph number 1 on the left is what you're doing, and graph number 2 is what is happening what should be happening. So the left side,
I'm about
Leopard.
to hire Vibe to be my financial advisor.
Leopard, thank you for the 5, man. Much love. Thank you, dude. Appreciate you. So this is what you're doing, right? This is what you're doing. You ready? Watch this. This is what your economy looks like. So we'll say the bottom is time and the left side is drones. So D for drones, T for time. Okay? That's what this graphs represent. And this is what you have right here, okay? You ready? Here it is. This is what yours looks like. It's like a staircase of just fucking... Here's why. In these moments right here, you're making drones. And in these moments right here, you're making units. And then you make drones. And then you make units. And then you make drones. And then you make units. It's not good. You don't want to do that. Here's what you need to do, okay? This is what it should look like. This is what it should look like. Okay, it should be like this. And why it shouldn't look like this? So in B2GM, we talk about safety units, right? We talk about the idea of safety units. So in these moments right here, okay, in this moment right here, this is when I'm developing my bases and I'm making a bunch of drones. And this is when I hit that ideal drone count that is like, we have a lot of drones right now. And then I make a round of safety roaches. And then off of those safety roaches, if we get all in, I will go back to making more roaches during the fight. I will not make them again and again and again for no reason. I then take a moment to make, off of the safety roaches, I make my next threshold of drones, which is a fuckload of drones. Like, we're talking like 42 drones right there, all the way to like 70. I don't make to like 47 and then make 8 roaches after that. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. But that's how we do it in B2GM, and that's how you should be doing it as well. You should be doing these thresholds, and then suddenly this one right here is when we make our safety units again, because we're really greedy, and now we make units. And if this guy were to attack us during the phase right here where we make units, if we get all in during that, guess what? We can just extend it and continue to make units during the fact that we're getting all in. And if he doesn't all in us, wonderful. Guess what? We're going to make drones again. And we'll go now on this one all the way up to like 85 drones or so. And once we have like 85 drones, you know what happens once you have like 85 drones? You make units all game from that point on. And you don't have to go drones, units, drones, units, drones, units, drones, units. You just go units, 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 the whole fucking time until your opponent's dead. The only drones you need to make then are if you expand to a new hatchery and a new couple gases, and you need to remake just 3 drones out of your existing 42 larvae, because you're injecting and you have a lot of larvae to spend, and you want to replace those 3 drones that made into buildings back into 3 more drones, so your economy doesn't slowly just depreciate back down to like 60 if you expand like 4 times or 5 times. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. But your economy is, and this is why, if this number right here represents like 6 or like 7 minutes, that's why at 7 minutes you have like 40 drones, and at 7 minutes we could have like 85 drones here. And it's not the same thing at all. You're taking like the staircase approach to Zerg, which is really fucking bad. Because you just keep rotating units, drones, units, drones, units, drones, units, drones. And it never stops. It's because you play paranoid. This is why you're at 150 supply as well at 12 minutes. That is very slow. Okay, and then he ends up killing your army, and yeah, I'm not surprised. You both have a relatively tiny army. Honestly, you both aren't super maxed out yet. He's doing a very awkward sky toss opener, and you're with weird economy. And like, look at this. This is the kind of shit I'm talking about, right? Look at the fucking economy. If either one of you just did a mineral priority, you could fucking win. Like, you have just recently fixed your drones. And here's the thing. You're still at only 49. And you want to know why this is fixed? It's not because you made them. And it's like, well, you just made a good round of drones for this base. It's because you transferred them from your main base. Because your main base is oversaturated and you're mining out. You're not actually making drones that much. You're at 13 minutes and you've only lost you've lost 0 drones this game. Workers killed is 0 for blue, which means you've lost 0 drones and you still only have 49. You're staying in the economy stage, your phase 1, for so fucking long. You're 13 minutes and you're still in phase 1 of the game, which is economy development. You should be done with phase 1 on average by about 7 minutes.
The power of paint.
Yo, thank you very much, Diamonds International. Thank you for the 5. Okay. And then now from this point on, this game is going to feel hard for you because your economy is not ideal. It's literally that simple. Like, it doesn't matter how much you micro. Again, is micro the answer here? I can see you're focus firing his carriers. I know you are. 100% I know you're focus firing. That's not what you should be doing right now. What you should be doing right now is having 200 supply of Hydras instead of 125, and you wouldn't need to focus fire, and his entire interceptor flock would die because he only has 112 supply of Sky Toss. You could literally double his supply right now and just roll his ass over with sheer Hydra numbers. And why are you not able to do that? Because you are not macroing. You have 17 larvae, and none of those are even going into drones. And at this point, here's the crazy thing, right? At this point in the game, at 15 minutes, if you've let this much time go by with an inefficient opener, now it's super hard to find out when to make drones. Because if you make drones, suddenly he attacks you, you could totally die. This is where players are always so confused. Because if you give yourself a shitty developing start of the game, it's going to make the rest of the game feel complicated and awkward. Because now you don't know if it's okay or not. And to be fair, yeah, you don't know. Because if your opponent decides to attack you, and you just made a round of drones finally at 14 minutes in the game, yeah, you could die for that. Because you have the inefficient opener, and it makes everything inefficient. So you're like, just the process of trying to max out the first time is hard.
Mineral field depleted.
I'll see it. Don't mind this stuff. I'm sorry, I actually forgot to take that off. That's for BDGM, not for replay analysis. But it is what it is. I didn't mean to leave it on here. My bad.
Complete.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for all your hard work, man.
Thank you, Krunk Monks. Thank you, dude. Yeah, like, your focus fire, you are doing so much micro and trying to focus fire so much. You just don't have enough money to do anything, though. You have no money. You have 68 drones, and your opponent only has 40 probes. You could crush his ass. You could fucking destroy this nerd if you just had more money. This guy's economy sucks ass so hard. The economy is why you're losing. You have no emphasis on managing it properly. And the beautiful thing about it is what I'm telling you as well, is it's not that hard to fix what I'm saying either. You could fix it so easy. Just make workers. Like, literally, the best thing you can do for yourself, I'm dead serious. Don't take offense to this because it's not, it's legit. Don't be the guy that goes, you know what? I'm not going to watch Vibe's bronze videos in his bronze dream series because I'm not fucking bronze. I'm platinum. I'm not going to degrade myself to the bronze videos. I guarantee you'll learn so much if you go watch the bronze videos. And the reason why is because it's teaching you how to do something that is incredibly efficient at a very basic level of understanding. And the thing that I'm teaching you how to do that's incredibly efficient never goes away. It never goes away. It is always relevant. I do the same shit I did in platinum. I do it from bronze. Is what, like, the same shit I was doing in bronze, I am still doing in platinum. I'm just doing it in a more advanced state in platinum. That's all it is. But it's the same fucking concept. It's the same thing. Because it's correct concept for how to play this game. And the way you're playing this game is super incorrect. You're extending phase 1 of StarCraft 2, a game of StarCraft 2, way too long. And you will lose every game to anybody who has any understanding of how to play efficient.
Mineral field depleted.
And now you're going into Corruptor. And this is, again, a thing that's misleading, right? You think on paper, oh, corruptors are good against carriers. They're super good. But not when there's 0/0 corruptors and you're replacing hydras that are 2/2. Soon to be 3/2. You'd want to, honestly, if you wanted to go corruptor, you'd want to probably keep going hydras for now, get upgrades on your spire, and then once you have like at least like level 2 done, then switch into corruptor. Don't go corruptor now when there's 0/0 because they're going to be god awful if you do that.
Mineral field depleted.
And you're going as a focus of corruptor now.
Mutation.
Okay, I mean,
Mineral
also,
field.
if you want to go corruptors versus sky toss, also I recommend highly that you go all the way to level 3 carapace before you even touch weapons. Carapace is so much more value than weapons are if you go corruptor versus carrier. That's pretty advanced though. Again, I think that's not even, you're microing way too much for a platinum player, in my opinion. You're not macroing at all. You're going to lose all the time. Like, I don't see you getting better at StarCraft 2 if you focus on micro right now. I see you actually getting better at StarCraft 2 if you focus on macro. Your macro needs a lot of improvement. From what I see here.
Mineral field.
Like, you finally hit 80 workers around 20 minutes in the game. Again, you should be done with that by 7 minutes.
Our forces are under mutation. Complete. Our forces are under attack.
And I can see you focus firing again. And look how you just got murdered. You're fighting 3/3/3 Sky Toss with 0/1 Corruptors. You're definitely going to die. And you're losing this game as well. It's not because of micro. You could literally make mass hydras and kill this guy. You could make mass hydras. Think about it like this, okay? Imagine this. I am not even joking when I say this. Look at this guy's army. Look at it. Take a good look at it. And here's how I would say you should beat this army. Imagine if you had one of two choices. The choice you're choosing is number 1, which I'll explain in a second. And the choice you could have, which would be number 2 if you macro better, it will be another thing I'll explain in a second. But now choice number 1 is the one you're using this game. What you're doing is you're trying to fight a Sky Toss that is fully upgraded. And yes, it's not maxed out on supply, but you're trying to fight Sky Toss with like 27 Hydras every 5 minutes. You're trying to fight him with like 27 Hydras every 5 minutes. And what you're doing every time you guys fight is you're trying to focus fire his carriers. Okay? That's what's happening. That's option number 1. That's what you're actually doing. Like 27 Hydras focus firing shit every 5 minutes. Imagine if you just A-moved him with 50 Hydras every 2 minutes. And that, by the way, that's not unrealistic. That is a very real thing you could do if you just had better economy and you focused but more on actually utilizing your larva better and all these kinds of things. Imagine if 50 Hydras A-move towards that army every 2 minutes as opposed to 27 Hydras every 5 minutes when you're actually trying to focus fire carriers and shit. But what happened is you would kill all of his interceptors and your Hydras would just A-move down into his bases and then kill a base, kill a base, kill a base, kill a base. And he would have no money to keep rebuilding these armies. Or he might just straight up stand there and lose his army while he tries to save his bases, and then his army would die, and then eventually his bases would die. You're taking the wrong choice massively here. You're choosing the micro route with no macro. Very weak macro.
Under attack.
This is not how you want to play StarCraft 2. This is it's a misconception of how everyone who's low league gets stuck in low league forever. This is why this game is a perfect reason why I made Beta GM series, because everyone who I coach as well for the first time, they all play like this. Like both these players, everyone I know in Platinum and below, they always play like this. They just do shit that you're just like, okay, there's literally no order of things here. Like, for instance, I'm going to use another analogy, okay? I'm going to use another analogy. Let's say you want to drive a car. And what do you do to drive the car? It's super simple. Like, people who know how to drive a car, it's super simple. You literally do this. You get your keys. You then use those keys to unlock the car. You open the car with those keys. You get in and sit in the car. You then turn the car on. You then drive the car. Now, if you know how to drive a car, it doesn't seem that complicated. You know how to do that process. But for me, when I'm trying to teach you guys how to play StarCraft, how to make an economy and then use the economy to then build an army, and then you worry about doing other shit once you have good macro, it'd be like me. The way I'm trying to explain StarCraft to people sometimes feels like when I like, again, I'm not trying to make this sound mean, but it's what it seems like. It'd be like telling someone to go drive a car now, and then instead of going keys, unlock car, open car, get in car, turn car on, drive car, it goes like this. Okay, I'm gonna turn the car on. Turn the car on. Okay, how are you gonna turn the car on? It's not turning on. I don't know. Okay, you gotta get the keys first before you can turn the car on. Okay, so I guess I can't turn the car on first then. Okay, now I'm gonna open the door, and the door is fucking locked. And the guy's like sitting there like trying to open the fucking handle of the door on the car, and he's like, well, I can't turn it on, and now I can't open the door either. It's like, you gotta get your fucking keys, dude. You can't do either one of those things unless you get the keys. And once you go through these processes of like the stages of what you should be doing to do a task, suddenly once you get it down, it no longer feels complicated. It no longer is difficult. But if you were to watch someone drive a car or try, like if you tell them go drive, take the car and go drive to the store really fast and go pick something up for us. And you watch that person literally go out in the front of your house and they stand next to the car and they're like pressing the window with their finger. And you're like, what are you doing? And that person's like, I'm trying to turn the car on. And you're like, bro, the keys are fucking in the house. You like automatically think, does this person know how to drive a car? The hell's wrong with this person? It's the same thing as if you build an army before you have an economy in this game. If you build an army and you have no economy, it means all of your macro games are going to not make any sense. It literally, you can't play a macro game then. You will lose every time versus someone who can. Step 1, 100 miles an hour. Yeah. And this is again, it's not just Larifari and this Korean guy here. It's everybody who's low league.
Yeah.
Everybody who's low league plays like this. Everybody.
Get the fucking keys, chat.
Thank you very much for the sub, Baffler. It's everybody. This is a problem of everyone in lower league, which is again why I wanted to make a BD Gym series, because I felt like this is actually a really common problem that could be rectified if people understand how to like the steps to take in order to play a proper game of StarCraft. Because you know what's gonna happen again? Here's the problem with what's about to happen, okay? Even though Zerg is ahead on supply now, I think Zerg is going to die. The reason why I think Zerg is going to die is because, okay, maybe not. It's a lot of Void Rays. Void Rays actually kind of suck ass. So there's actually a chance. There's a chance. Void Rays actually scale poorly. No, there's no chance. I think the focus fire there once again was way too real. Also, think about it too, right? Think about this, something like this, right? Your opponent's using Mothership every time you guys fight. You should definitely be bringing some Overseers with your army. What's happening? Because like, what happened? You know what? You want to know why you lost that fight? It's not because Void Rays are good. It's not because Void Rays are good. The reason why you lost that fight is because of two reasons. Number one, you focus fired the Mothership. You actually focus fired the Mothership. That's number one reason why you lost. And why is that a reason why you lost? Here comes the number two reason. You focus fired the Mothership, which made your Hydras try to walk forward through like 10 fucking, or like more like 6 DTs, and they just swiped the crap out of all your Hydras. And all your Hydras died to Dark Templars. Meanwhile, the Carriers and the Void Ray and the Stalker just finished off whatever was left over. Like, look at these DTs just go to town on your Hydras. Watch them. You focus fire the Mothership and you walk into his DTs. Look at them. They're just... there's more DTs coming in. Now there's 7. They're just murdering you. And now the mothership finally dies, and by the time you've killed the mothership, like half your hydras are already dead, and all you killed was a mothership. And you want to know something? Out of the DPS, if anyone who doesn't know what DPS means, DPS stands for damage per second. It means how much damage output this unit can do. A mothership, believe it or not, is not at the top of the totem pole here. It's literally less than DTs, especially 7 of them. It's less than even 1 DT. It's less than carrier. It's less than a Void Ray if a Void Ray is hitting an armored unit. It's probably about the same as a Void Ray if a Void Ray is hitting a light unit. And it's a little bit more than Stalkers, for sure. But it's not, like the thing is it's just the mothership. The only thing about the mothership that makes any sense that as to why it's relevant is because it cloaks the army. And you can counter that by bringing Overseers. So the fact that you dove your army to kill the mothership, you've sacrificed like 50% of your army just to kill the mothership, and the mothership is it's such a small piece of the DPS of his army. So, like for instance, let me give you another paint here, okay? Let me give you a paint. What the fuck is this? What the hell is that? What the hell happened to my paint? What? Okay, there we go. That was weird. What the fuck? This looks so weird when I click off of it. I don't know how I changed that, but okay. Did paint just get patched? I'm so confused. Okay, so let's just say our opponent's army has 5,000 DPS. Okay, let's say that's how much overall all of his units combined have. And let's say your army has 4,700. What you just did was you killed a mothership that does maybe like 80 DPS. Like, it's not actually a lot. It's a very tiny amount. Okay? And you, to kill that, you lost like 2,300 DPS.
Learning to macro is like a baby learning to stand, and micro is like a baby learning to run.
So then
you need to learn to stand before you can run, or else you will always stumble.
I hate this paint right now, dude. It's annoying. Yo,
Void
thank you,
Rays
Red
suck
Solace.
ass. Bro, what?
Thank you, the Red Solace for the 1, and El Miro Pistola for the 5. Yeah, Void Rays versus Hydras, guys. Void Rays suck balls. If you actually have 200 out of 200 200 out of 200 Hydras versus Voids, Jesus Christ, Void Rays are bad. Void Rays are good early game at how annoying they can be, but they're pretty shit late game for a lot of reasons. But like, look at the trade though, right? Like, this is a micro choice. This right here was a choice. Fucking, what is wrong with my paint right now? Oh my god, can someone please help me? I don't know what is happening here. It is so annoying. Why does it not just stay? Click the arrow next to the question mark. Where's the question mark? Okay, thank God, thank you. Yo, Lethamus, thank you so much. You just saved my. That was no longer annoying. Thank you. That was actually really frustrating. So you've chosen to make this. This was a conscious trade, right? You don't realize it. This is also this is why I tell platinum players, don't fucking micro, guys, because you don't realize things like this. People in platinum do not think about shit like this, like at all. But let's just say your army was almost comparable, very comparable in DPS to your opponent's army when you guys clashed, and you chose to fucking kill a unit that does 80 DPS, and in the process you sacrifice 2,300 DPS of your army to do that. You lost like half your corruptors and half your hydras to kill a mothership. And now at the end of it, when you have the rest of the army, which is 4,920 DPS versus 2,400, it's not the same thing at all. And then one army is going to just murder the other one super hard. It's not even close, which is why when that mothership dies, your army just fucking melts. And imagine if you just had an Overseer with your army and all those DTs that walked in insta-died. You want to know what would happen then? In the process of you bringing an Overseer, this is what could happen if you brought an Overseer. Legit. Be like this. Just because you brought an Overseer, DTs engage Hydras, and all DTs die as they engage Hydras, and maybe they kill like a little bit of Hydras, but all the DTs die in the process. And now after that, after you kill all the DTs, and now you have Hydra Corruptor versus Void Ray, 2 Carrier, and Stalker. All the DTs are dead because they're melee. They run in first and they die first. and they don't have any cover because they have no zealots with them or anything like that. Suddenly now the Protoss' DPS has gotten half because 7 of his DTs, which are just doing fucking crazy. His DTs are the highest DPS units he has there, especially if you can't see them, but they're just going, just mowing the lawn with Hydras. Now you have a much better chance to win that fight because you just killed all of his fucking DTs, and now, you know, now it's just some Voids and Stalkers and literally 2 carriers. Like, all it would have taken is bring an Overseer and A move. Just bring an Overseer and fucking A move. People over micro all the time, and they throw the game all the time because of that shit. What are your Corruptors upgrades at, out of curiosity? 2-2, Hydras are 3-3. At least your upgrades. Your upgrades are getting a little bit better. Also, think about this. What if your opponent constantly throws like 8 DTs at a time at your bases, right? He's constantly attacking you with DTs.
Made
Econox,
diamond,
thank you, man.
thanks. Does your build work in Diamond 2 or is that another beast?
Yes, you could. Yeah, I 100%, if I did my Beta build that I'm going to be doing in Platinum, I could still win games in Diamond 2. 100%. Would I win every game? No, I would not win every game. So don't think I just said I would win 100% of my games. I did not say that. I said 100% you would win a game. You could still win games in Diamond if you have good macro, because some players in Diamond still are bad at macro. It's just somewhere along inside the League of Diamond is when players actually start learning how to fucking macro properly. But like, think about it for a second, Larifari. What if you put like Spore Spine down at your bases? And what if you put like just like a Lurker at each base? Or what if you like left like 8 Hydras per base and you waited until you maxed out and then you went and fought him? Like, you keep doing these fights where you have so much less supply than you should, and you keep always having such a low economy. Only at one point in this game did you have a decent economy, and then it just like died in, like right away. Like, this guy has shown you he loves doing DT attacks. Put more spines at this base. This is where players need to start learning things like what investment is. If my opponent invests 2,000 resources to send 10 fucking Dark Templars to my base, or like 9 DTs, 2,000 resources to send 9 DTs to my base. What if I, as a Zerg player, make 2 Spores and 8 Spine Crawlers? And that in itself is only like maybe 1,300 if you include drone cost. Okay? So it's like 2,000 to 1,300. And now 8 Spine Crawlers can like one-shot DT, one-shot DT, one-shot DT. All together, they're smashing DTs because DTs are units that do tons of damage but are made of glass. They die so easy if you attack them. And suddenly 8 DTs kill 5 of my 8 Spine Crawlers. So the Protoss gets a net loss of 2,000, and I get a net loss of like 600 or like 500. And then I can just rebuild those spines that die for the next time he does this. And I keep getting net gains every time he throws his units away like that. Or better yet, what if I left my Hydras there and he killed no spines because I have Hydra and spine there? And then I'm just watching him throw away 20 supply at a time like this. Like, what if he just went to this base? Let's say there was a base here. There's 8 spines here. And there was like 8 Hydras there. Not even like 100 Hydras. Like 8 Hydras. What if there's 8 Hydras here with some spines? What if there's like 8 Hydras here with some spines? All my front bases have Hydras at them. DTs blink into it and they just insta-die. Also, you're like never using Overseers really. Oh, you have 1 now. Okay, that's good. But I already know what's going to happen again. You're going to take a fight where you're not maxed out again, and you have no bank really, and you're going to focus fire. And I honestly think you're going to focus fire that mothership again. Here we go. Here comes the fight, right? Here comes the fight. So your army is already scattered. You're taking a fight where his entire army is going to engage only a fraction of yours unless you back the fuck up right now. You're losing Hydras already. You're focus firing a Nexus. You literally focused the Nexus and you lost like 7 Hydras already to kill the Nexus. Think about it like this. What if you won this fight and then you could kill as many Nexus as you want after the fight's over because you already killed his army? Killing this Nexus to then only fight his army right after makes no sense because you're taking a fight at a disadvantage now. And now you're focus firing. Or you're not focus firing yet. Good. You're not focused. You're just killing interceptors and you're killing shit in the area. But here's the problem though: is you're down in supply. Like you've already lost supply in the process of this fight starting. So now you just don't have enough to finish it. And then now you're focusing the mothership. And the mothership doesn't even quite die. And your army dies. You just don't have enough units, dude. That's like, there's so many things I could talk to you about your micro. But again, that's way above the point of where I think we're at. I think you just need to fix your macro. And I think the best thing you can do for yourself is watch Beat the Gym series. So like everything I said throughout this about earlier in the game about the first 7 minutes of the build up is fucking humongous. If you can't hit good thresholds early game, you're never going to hit good thresholds all game because you're always going to be in this weird state of where the game is, and it's going to always feel awkward. But if you just fix and clean up your early game, so much better off. And I feel like you went into this panic mode ever since he built a gas in your base and then he cannon rush you and you just left your overlord there instead of back here to watch the hatchery, which is the relevant part. So I hope this helps. 100% seriously, dude. There's so many things I could tell you about your macro that I really do think that this one little piece of information is going to be worth like 1,000 words. Seriously, go watch Beta GM Zerg videos from Bronze 3 and work your way through it. And I guarantee you're going to learn so much shit. And if you don't know how to do that, go here. Okay, so I don't know if you know what my stream is, but go here, okay?
Clean your house before your WoW quest.
I don't know if he knows what my stream is because he emailed me, so I don't know if he got me through YouTube or whatever. But go to my stream right there. It's called twitch.tv/VibeLOL. While you're there, just type in Zerg GM, all one word with an exclamation point to lead it, like that. And the bot will link you to a list of videos that is my Beta Gym series for 2021. Or if you're already on my YouTube channel and you know where that is, watch it. Seriously, go watch Bronze 3 and work your way up the leagues. And you're going to be like, holy fuck. That's a lot of information. That's a lot of macro information that I might not have known about because the way this game went, super off. Super, super, super off. Also, last little tip I'll give you is try to start paying attention to the clock. Pay attention to the clock and see, just seriously, do this. See how long it takes you to get out of phase 1 of a game of StarCraft and get into phase 2. If it takes you 15 minutes, holy fuck, you need to improve that. If it takes you 12 minutes, you need to improve that. If it takes you 10 minutes, if it takes you 8 minutes, whatever, try to push yourself to get better and better at it. And a good number to aim for is like 7 minutes. If you can do it in 7 minutes, you're playing well. But anyways, I hope this helps you, Larifari. Go watch that Beta Dream series. It'll help you so much more than what I can do right now. Because again, this is just a replay analysis. There's hours upon hours of content there that you could learn from as well. But much love for doing it. Thank you, dude. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next replay analysis. I hope this helps you as well. And yeah, guys, remember, this game itself was another example of nothing. Literally, I'm going to tell you right now, nothing in this game mattered because macro is bad. Everything else was like a little problem here, a little problem there, a little problem here, but they all could have literally been just evaporated and just vanish if you just have good macro. This Protoss would have been so easy to beat with good macro because his macro also sucked ass. Like, he never had probes on his mineral lines that much. It was always low. The only reason why he won is because his one army that he made never really died. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Good luck to you, Larifari. Thank you, man. I hope this helps you. I do hope it helps you in the end. But thanks, and I'll see you guys next time. And whatever you see the next video is. Peace, guys. See ya.